On NewsWatch Ole Miss, severe weather impacted much of the southern region last night, bringing heavy rain, damaging winds, and tornadoes.
And after those storms, trees were found down in many areas, including Jackson, Mississippi, and right here in Oxford. These stories and more coming up. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Reagan Settle.
And I'm Juliana Jackson. Last night's severe weather impacted many of the southern states, including Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi are among those areas having to clean up streets from fallen debris and trees.
Many areas are also dealing with damaged buildings from spin-up tornadoes and flooding. Weather anchor Erica Fontana has more on last night's storms and Oxford's current conditions.
Good evening, everybody. So right now in Oxford is 64 degrees with winds about 15 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. Showers are scattered. Right now the skies are pretty clear, but again, showers will be scattered throughout the evening. And we do have some hazardous temperatures coming in. We have some hazardous weather coming in. We have some winds scattered around and more rain. There will be a flood watch later. So if you will be doing anything outside tonight, be careful as you will need your rain boots as the rain has some pretty big puddles. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Erica. Early this morning, an EF1 tornado struck Katy, Texas. A business, a shopping center, and other structures were destroyed by the tornado. The National Weather Service confirms that a Houston suburb was also struck by another EF1 tornado.
Strong storms also moved through Port Arthur, leaving widespread wind damage. New Orleans, Louisiana was also impacted by the storms. Crews are working to clean up in the areas that were more severely affected. There are reports of collapsed roofs, trees on cars, knocked power lines, and debris in the street.
And according to the National Weather Service, that area might have experienced a tornado as well. Officer Rodney West, who was in the middle of the likely tornado that touched down in Louisiana, shares what he experienced.
Basically, it was zero visibility, and rain was all over the place. My car was shaking. What I saw was just buildings with the windows busted out, cars on their side, other vehicles wrecked, power lines down. Worst case scenario that you could imagine.
A resident also spoke out about what he experienced.
Next thing you know, wind started blowing. I rushed her to the tub for shelter, safety, and me, I just was, see what was going to go on out here right in the, living room and things. But as you can see, we got flooded in, and our car got trees and everything on it, fence.
As mentioned before, Mississippi was also impacted by these storms. Jackson, the state's capital, experienced major flooding in some areas. There were also many trees down, including one falling on a home in Madison County.
Well, here on campus, trees also were found fallen due to strong winds.
NewsWatch reporter Cody Ferris went out to speak to students and the cleanup crew.
University of Mississippi students were shocked this morning when they found a large tree fallen in the grove. Seniors Olivia Young and Jonathan Sinceri say that this tree falling is rather sad.
Well, the first thing I heard when I got to campus today was the sound of the chainsaw. And once I looked to my left, I saw the tree had fallen. And it felt like a piece of me was gone,
It kind of caught me off guard because I never thought I'd see a grove tree just on the ground like that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the university's landscaping services take fallen trees seriously. Ground supervisor for the south side of campus, Matt Foley, was there today clearing the debris.
We'll form a team together and we'll load everything up and we'll come out here and we will make sure everything's roped off safety-wise and start cutting it up.
However, the fallen tree in the grove was not alone.
No, this is not the only tree. I just got a phone call that there is another tree down blocking the road over by the chancellor's house.
When fallen trees block roads, clearing them becomes top priority.
The tree is blocking the roadway. It's hard for emergency vehicles to get through, so we have to get that clear.
The tree near the chancellor's house was cleared quickly, but the tree in the grove is not cleared yet because of its size. In the meantime, Foley urges students to heed the caution tapes around it.
If you see the yellow caution tape, please kind of stay away. We put that out for everyone else's safety, not for ours.
Thankfully, the university's celebration for Arbor Day has been rescheduled for this Friday. There, students and faculty can plant back what was lost. Cody Ferris, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
We'll be hearing more about last night's severe weather and the upcoming rain in our week later in the show from our weather anchor. In Jackson, Mississippi, the Goon Squad was sentenced today. The Goon Squad, the 6 former Mississippi law enforcement officers, received prison sentences ranging from 15 to 45 years. Last month, the 5 former deputies from the Rankin County Sheriff's Office and one from the Ridgeland Police Department received federal sentences ranging from 10 to 40 years.
History has been made. The Goon Squad here in Rankin County, who have never been held accountable for all of their crimes, had to appear and to be sentenced for their terrorism and torture of Michael Jenkins, Eddie Parker, and many others in Rankin County. Today was historic injustice.
Punishments are connected to a January 2023 incident where the officers tortured and abused 2 black men.
Here in Oxford, there is a new proposed ordinance that can change the landscape of the towing industry. NewsWatch reporter Carson Ware has more on the story.
Oxford is full of apartment complexes with strict codes when it comes to parking and towing vehicles. Many students, like Race Davis, are displeased with the relationship between students and the towing companies.
It wasn't like a long process or anything, but it was definitely annoying just because the price was so high and it didn't really feel like they got a fair shot at, not getting their car towed. It was very quick.
The Oxford Board of Aldermen is waiting to vote on a new ordinance that would require approval from law enforcement, vehicle owners, or driver of the vehicle to have the car towed. Towing companies would also need approval from a property owner to tow a car. Richard Shivers, owner of Shivers Towing, says this ordinance is long overdue.
So it's probably something that should have been done a long time ago, but it's just they've had enough complaints now, they're finally gonna do something about it,
Shivers also commented on how it makes Oxford look, expressing his displeasure with predator towing around town.
It's been a lot of predator towing is what we call it, and a lot of wrong done. But now I think it'll be righted, and I think it's good for the community. People come here to visit, and they're not sure where they can park, and they park at some restaurants parking and walk to the square or something, and that restaurant tows them, and then they have to pay $350 or $400 or $500 or whatever. It puts a bad light on Oxford,
The Board of Aldermen has yet to vote on this issue. If you would like to speak your mind, on April 16th at 5 p.m., there's a public hearing right here in City Hall. Come and have your voice heard. I'm Carson Ware, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Coming up, the man accused of setting fire to Bernie Sanders' office is set to face a judge.
Plus, a Ramadan celebration was cut short after 3 people were shot. These stories and more after the break. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
Mississippi.
Hey, Mississippi.
Don't trash Mississippi.
Because picking up litter costs us time
and money.
MDOT spends $3.2 million a year picking up litter.
That's money that could be used to maintain roads and bridges,
patch potholes,
and focus on improving Mississippi's infrastructure.
Please help us help you.
We can't do it without you. Don't trash Mississippi.
Don't trash Mississippi.
I'm here at the scene of tomorrow's shooting, where a 15-year-old will kill 4 children, 2 adults, and then turn the gun on himself.
When the shooting starts happening tomorrow, first I'll probably just think it's firecrackers or a car backfiring or something.
He told some of us that his dad kept a gun in his closet, and he always talked about using it on, the people that bullied him. Tomorrow I'll probably say that I wish I told someone.
After the shooting, we're gonna feel pretty bad about picking on him, but until then, we'll probably just keep doing it because he's pretty weird.
Tomorrow I'll probably point out that something has seemed off with him since the beginning of the school year.
And I'm now joined by the officers who will be the first responders tomorrow. What additional details can you share with us?
Well, someone is expected to tell us after the shooting that the shooter has been posting on social media about doing this for weeks.
So how will you explain the shooting to your daughter?
Actually, I won't get to explain it to her because she won't make it.
This is Christine Lynn. reporting from the scene of another shooting we'll say we never saw coming.
Back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. A 35-year-old man named Shant Soghomonian appeared in federal court on Tuesday for allegedly setting fire to Senator Bernie Sanders' Burlington, Vermont office. Reporter Tyler Baronsky has more details regarding this case. Soghomonian will be back in court Thursday. If convicted, he could face up to 25 years in prison. In Philadelphia, a Ramadan celebration turned tragic. A 15-year-old is in custody after being shot by police during an incident involving a gun. A Philadelphia police officer shot the teenager in the shoulder and leg at the scene. Two others, a 22-year-old and a juvenile, were also injured. Police fired 30 shots and arrested 5 people, seizing 4 guns. Investigators don't think the shooting was connected to the Eid al-Fitr Islamic celebration. A man named Maxwell Anderson appeared in a Milwaukee, Kentucky court on Tuesday after being taken into custody last week in connection to a severed leg found near Warnemont Park. State investigators also searched Anderson's duplex last Thursday, where they found blood. Since then, more body parts have been discovered across Milwaukee County over the past 3 days. Investigators have not yet confirmed if Anderson is linked to these findings. The state seeks to keep Anderson in custody pending blood test results, but his defense attorney argues against it, citing lack of substantial evidence.
Following accidents. The suicide rate has doubled in the past 2 decades, according to the British Journal of Sports and Medicine. With male cross-country athletes having the highest suicide rate, the reasons behind this overall increase are still unclear. Reporters say it may appear to affect those with higher visibility, possibly due to stress from spotlight and social media criticism. Severe storms are hitting the southern U.S. from Texas to the East Coast, resulting in deadly consequences. Reporter Laura Aguirre provides further updates on where this weather is heading in the near future.
It's not a good day to be out on the road.
Floodwaters high enough to creep into fire trucks and submerge smaller vehicles. Savage overnight storms swept over parts of Texas, a number of towns suffering damage to homes, businesses, trees, and power lines. More than 400 people have been assisting with water rescues in and around Kirbyville, say local fire officials. Even some rescuers needed rescue.
Sad to say, but we're stuck in the ditch.
Torrential rain and high winds roared east along the Gulf Coast Wednesday, triggering dangerous flash floods and spawning multiple tornadoes. Parts of Texas and Louisiana are already under more than a foot of rain, with more expected at a rate of up to 3 inches an hour through the day. Multiple injuries, none major, were reported Wednesday afternoon after a suspected tornado touched down in Slidell, Louisiana, according to parish leaders there.
The rain was all over the place. My car was shaking. Other vehicles wrecked. Power lines down. Worst case scenario that you could imagine.
The National Weather Service says wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour are possible in several areas. In Mississippi, officials are warning residents in cities like Jackson to brace for potentially intense tornadoes there as the storms move through. Forecasters predict these dangerous conditions will move across Florida's panhandle and north along the East Coast and into the D.C. and Baltimore area Thursday.
This might be the worst storm I've ever lived through.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
And speaking of severe weather, we are not done seeing rain here in Oxford. Let's check in with weather anchor Erica Fontana for a look at tonight's conditions.
So today the temperature is going to be about 51 degrees, not too bad for this time of year, but we're getting winds at about southeast 15 miles per hour, similar to we are right now. There will be heavy rain, and I'll be back after the break to explain how this will impact tonight's temperatures and tomorrow.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Is my light bright enough? You're such a glow-off.
Well, you know,
come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. The trees stand tall. Mother, mother, you tell me to stay rooted. The trees' roots go deep. You tell me to focus on my breath, and the trees breathe for the earth. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? Will you be the kind that makes shade, or the kind that shows a new way? Might you be the kind to hug, or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind. The child had a few more questions after that, and the forest had plenty of answers.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. So as you can see, all of this weather is coming up from Louisiana and into Mississippi. Right now it's in Jackson, and it will be some very heavy rain, as you can see with the red right here. And current conditions in Oxford are about 64 degrees. The winds are about southeast 15 miles per hour. And again, showers are kind of scattered in and out, but there is that strong breeze. And as you can see, we do have some severe weather coming up. This is moving out of Mississippi. This is yesterday's system. But again, like I showed before with all the red over by Jackson, that will be coming up, and we will be getting that tonight. So make sure if you are going out tonight that you will be safe in the rain. No flood will come near you if you are safe. And current temperatures around the state are pretty much in the mid-60s, as you can see. South Haven, we have 65, Holly Springs 66, Oxford 64, and then Corinth and Tupelo are at 66 as well. And tonight's forecast is 51 degrees. And there will be winds, again, southeast 15 miles per hour like they are right now. And again, heavy rain will be coming, so please make sure you are careful and not outside. And as you can see, this system is sitting around southern Mississippi and much of the southeast United States. It is moving out of Mississippi right now, but again, we will be having that system come up tonight, which will bring us some more of that heavy flooding and severe winds. And tomorrow we are seeing those scattered thunderstorms. It's going to be about 66 degrees, winds about 15-20 miles per hour, so very similar to what they are today. But again, just be careful for those thunderstorms. And tomorrow's temperatures around northern Mississippi are around the high 60s, South Haven 68, Holly Springs 67, Corinth 65, Oxford 66, and then Tupelo will be around 67. And looking into the 5-day forecast, tomorrow it's going to be 66 degrees and rainy. Friday, we're going to start to see some sun again, around 70 degrees. Then this weekend, we are getting some perfect weather. Saturday and Sunday, around 80 degrees and sunny. And then, unfortunately, we'll be back into that rain Monday. It'll be 82 degrees, but there will be some rain, especially in the evening on Monday.
So just to recap, we have a lot of storms coming in still through this week, but we luckily have some sunshine this weekend.
Yes, we'll be seeing some spring weather this weekend, luckily after the rain.
I'm so excited for
yes,
that. And
me too.
Speaking of great weather, what do we have coming up in sports?
And coming up, the baseball team announced some exciting plans for one of their upcoming games, and the Grove Bowl is going to look a little different this year. I'll have that and more up next in sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
I don't remember how it started.
Look at that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back. I'm Laurel Wynn with Sports Watch. Starting things off on the diamond, the Rebels softball team will be in action tonight as they are on the road to play a doubleheader versus Louisiana Tech. Ole Miss has won 6 straight games versus Louisiana Tech, and tonight's doubleheader will make the first meeting in Ruston since 2016. The Rebs are coming off a tough weekend and looking to gain back some momentum after getting swept on the road in their series versus Alabama. But the Bulldogs will be a tough team to beat as they are off to one of the best starts in program history. Head coach Josh Taylor is only in his 3rd season and is knocking on the door of 100 wins. First pitch was set for 4 p.m. but has since been delayed. However, we will make sure to keep you up on the latest. And this weekend, the football team will be in action at the annual Grove Bowl. However, this year, the spring game will be looking slightly different from years past. Head coach Lane Kiffin spoke to the media yesterday to let fans know what they can expect.
Kind of describe it as like a Pro Bowl plus, meaning, you know, the 7-on-7 would look like what you've watched the Pro Bowl before, the flag football part. The players have, you know, drafted teams, coaches, players, everything for that. There'll be some fan involvement in some different things, fraternity and sorority. There'll be an obstacle course. There'll be a dunk competition. And there'll be a hot dog eating competition. And Joey Chestnut will be here for that.
All of this action will be happening on April 13th starting at 3 p.m. in the Vaught. And the baseball team announced some exciting news this afternoon. The Rebs will be hosting a Stand Up to Cancer game to honor everyone who has been impacted by cancer. This will take place on Thursday, April 25th versus Alabama. The game will feature a placard moment between the 3rd and 4th innings in which fans will be invited to stand in recognition for a moment of silence. Placards will be placed in each seat for fans to fill out when they arrive. Extra placards can also be picked up at the left field and home plate entrances. First pitch is set for 6:30 p.m. and if you're not able to make it to Swayze, the game will be broadcast nationally on ESPNU. After a successful Joe Walker Invitational meet at home in Oxford, the Rebel women's track and field team still sits in the top 10 of the U.S. Track and Field Association's ranking at number 7. The Lady Rebels' current ranking marks the 10th time the women's team has cracked the list top 10 nationally. The Ole Miss men also remain in the national rankings, coming in at number 16 after a strong weekend of competition. The Rebels look to maintain their momentum as they travel to the University of Florida for the prestigious Tom Jones Memorial Meet on Friday and Saturday. And that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to follow us on X at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Laurel. Monday was the historic day of the 2024 eclipse, and many people celebrated in different ways.
Yes, Juliana, there were eclipse watch parties and many memes on social media, but the people and the stories we have coming up next truly go down in history. Find out why after the break.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Earlier this week, the main thing everyone was talking about was the solar eclipse.
And people even celebrated in big ways. But this New Jersey couple had two reasons to celebrate that day. During Monday's solar eclipse, the couple experienced a special moment as their daughter, Evelyn Hughes, made her debut into this world at 2:27 p.m. Eastern Time, a time that coincided with the moon beginning to block the sun.
Evelyn's mother, Sarah, believes the celestial event might have influenced her early birth, as she arrived 2 days ahead of schedule.
This is Evelyn, and she's our little eclipse baby.
We love her, and we're glad she's here, even if it happened during the eclipse.
That's a cool stat for her to have, to say I was born on the eclipse, and maybe that might even trigger some, an interest in science and, maybe even a future astronaut.
Congratulations. I think that is so special and obviously something that they're all going to remember for many, many, many years to come.
Did you guys get the chance to watch the eclipse on Monday?
I did, yeah.
I did too, and luckily the weather held out. It wasn't raining like it was supposed to during the eclipse. However, it will be raining tonight. We will be getting those thunderstorms this evening, and they will be lasting until tomorrow. Again, there is a flood watch in effect, so please be careful if you are doing anything other than staying at home. Tomorrow there will be some rain as well, but luckily this weekend is going to be some great weather. Finally seeing some sunshine after a couple long days of rain.
Thank you, Erica. Well, that's all we have tonight. Tune in tomorrow. I'm Juliana Jackson.
And I'm Reagan Settle with your latest news.
I'm Laurel Wynn with Sports Watch.
And with Storm Watch, I'm Erica Fontana.
Be sure to keep up with us on our socials and tune in tomorrow at 5. NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.